You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
On part 2 of our Cabral HouseCalls, this is where we answer the rest of our community's questions. We answered about 7 questions yesterday. Hopefully you were able to tune in then. That was episode 1422 at stephencabral.com/1422. And today's episode and all of those questions will be over at stephencabral.com/1423. Always excited to see what our community is writing in with for questions. I know these are obviously very serious topics. People looking to get well, overcome diseases of the body, and, any wellness, weight loss, anti-aging questions as well. We do some coaching sometimes, questions, whatever it is. I'm happy to help with that to the best of my ability. I'm not looking to cure anyone over the podcast, diagnose anyone, or treat any disease. What I look to do is help people discover the underlying root cause imbalances that are holding them back from living their best life. And to live your best life, I really believe you need to improve the quality of your life. You have to have, you basically need to be walking around with no brain fog, no weaknesses in terms of energy, and really having the vitality and zest for life that I think that we all want and do deserve. So in any way that I'm able to help, I try to provide that on the weekends, and I appreciate you, as always, being a listener of the Cabral Concept. So without further ado, let's dive right into today's show. This question is coming in from November 7th, so we look like we're just about 7 weeks or so behind. This is going to come out on, the 29th or so of December? Yeah, so that puts us about 7 weeks or so behind. Okay, so Jamie is up with the first question, and she writes in, "Hi, Dr. Ball. Thanks for all you do. I would like to ask you about how to be healthy after bariatric surgery. I have the gastric sleeve on March 1st, 2019. I found your podcast later the same month. Had I found you earlier, I would likely not have had the surgery. However, I believe things happen for a reason, so maybe this is my path. Now, my question is I can't eat as much as at one serving, and so I get hungry faster. Need more meals throughout the day, and I'm also worried about not getting enough nutrition. I'm starting the 21-day detox, then I will go into the CBO protocol, and finally the Heal and Seal. I've been drinking the daily nutritional support shake smoothie every morning for about 4 months. What advice can you give me and others to be very healthy after bariatric surgery?" Well, this is a great question, and this is something that we've honestly come across and been dealing with in a very positive way, I believe, for well over I guess it's been a decade or so. And that's because of our actual locations right in Boston. So because we work a lot with people looking to lose weight, and sometimes people will come in and they want to avoid the surgery, or sometimes people will say, I need to lose this much weight before I have the surgery. So, just again, happy to share my perspective on this and help you out with your answer. Okay, so just for people who don't know what bariatric surgery is, essentially what we're doing, not me, but essentially what a surgeon is doing is taking a small portion of the stomach, very, very small. And then what they're doing is then that they're taking part of your small intestine and connecting the two. So we're basically bypassing. By the way, there are different ways to do this. This isn't the only way, but I'm just giving some context for what can be done. You're obviously welcome to look up the different methodologies as well, because there are a few. So what I am recommending, because the transit time from stomach to bowels, meaning intestines, is quicker actually. And that means absorption might not be as great. So I actually think that you are on the right path. I could not recommend enough smoothies or smoothie bowls, things like that, where you can use the daily nutritional support powder to get all your vitamins in. And also it's in liquid format, because you're right, you can't. I mean, the stomach is now, I don't know the exact ratio, but let's say 1/5 of the size. It's so much smaller. I mean, it's even less than that. It's not even it's even less than that. So think about it. You can't eat that much food. So could you do 3 cups of broccoli at a meal? No, I mean, that's just not going to happen. But what you could do is you could blend up like the daily fruit and vegetable blend, or even like whole food veggies, and you can just put them in a smoothie. And you can make that into a nice big smoothie that you drink over the course of an hour, hour and a half. So 2 of your meals, maybe that. And then you might do 2 whole food meals, meaning like you might do a smoothie, a smaller whole food meal, another smoothie, and then another whole food meal at dinner. So again, you'll have to work with your exact nutritionist on this because this is a medical-based procedure, but that's just one way that you would be able to get your nutrients in, and you'd be able to have it in a blended fashion so it's easier to absorb, which means you'd more than likely get more of those vitamins and minerals and, of course, protein out of it, because it's very difficult to get a lot of protein with bariatric surgery. And part of that is because it's harder to digest. I mean, it's the most thermogenic food. It takes more time to break down. You need more stomach acid. You need more time in the stomach. And it's simply not going to happen after these types of surgeries. So easy to digest food, and that's it. You'll be able to get your nutrients that way. So hopefully that was helpful. Jamie, Sasha is up next. Hello, Dr. Ball. Thank you for the wisdom you share with the community every day. I know that I need to start detoxes, but there is something in the daily nutritional support shake that's exacerbating headaches. I've tried it on 2 separate occasions, 4 months apart, and my headaches began. It makes me nervous to try any of the detox pills. I'm able to use some of your products like the Balanced Zinc and sinus support with any issues. How would you suggest doing a detox without the shakes or the detox capsules? Thanks for all you do. Okay, Sasha. Yeah, no problem. I mean, or Sasa, S-A-H-S-A, Sasa. So, I mean, it's very rare, but for sure, there's a contradiction and contraindication for every product and every food for at least a couple people on the planet. There's no doubt about it. What I need to do is this. I just need to know, is it the shake or is it the FM Detox or AYU Detox capsules? So, for example, on a regular day, if you took 1 or 2 of the AYU detox capsules, would that be an issue? It probably not with the AYU, but again, I don't know. And if that's the ginger, that's the turmeric, that's the triphala in there. Those are the Ayurvedic-based detox herbs. Now, if you don't have an issue, okay, so that one's okay. Now let's try the FM detox. And if the FM detox, which is all of the precursors to basic glutathione with glutathione in there, if that causes a reaction, so to me, then I would say, that's really interesting. Is this what we call a Herxheimer reaction? Meaning your body is detoxing too quickly. It's not able to keep up with removing this from the body. So if that's the case, we would go smallest possible dose. We would do 1 capsule. But if you still get the reaction with 1 capsule, well, we can't do any capsules. That won't work, right? But let's say the AYU and FM detox capsules, we're talking about the Equilibrium Nutrition Detox here. Let's say they're fine. Okay, those are okay. So now it's something in the shake, all right? So you have an issue with something in the shake. So what we could do instead is we could use, let's say, the daily activated multivitamin, and we could use a hemp protein, let's say, and we could try that. And so that's how we're making our shake. And we say, does that work? And if the answer is yes, then great. You might just not be able to do all of the other factors in the shake because it's either too powerful, it's whatever it might be. So give that a shot, see if it works for you. If you already know that that does not work, then again, maybe it is a detox-based issue. So why don't we work on doing lighter things for now? Why don't we do things like dry brushing, sauna? We can work on using the daily fruit and vegetable blend just for like very easy things to just kind of get everything moving. We can do some rebounding to work on detoxifying the body, and then of course clean up the nutrition to the greatest degree possible. Sasa, thank you for writing in. Let's move on to Laura now. I'm a healthy, active 31-year-old female recently diagnosed with a neurofibroma tumor, 3 centimeters big, under my right collarbone near my brachial plexus, likely nerve C6 or C7. Surgery to have it removed is December 2nd. I've had shoulder arm pain in certain yoga postures for the past year, and I could never figure out where it was coming from until failed lymph node biopsy pointed the doctor in the right direction. For the past year, I've easily tolerated the minimal nerve pain, but ever since the biopsy months ago, I've been in moderate pain and haven't been able to do yoga. I'm very worried about the permanent nerve damage from this since they aggressively poked a nerve that they thought was a lymph node. Is that possible? Is there anything you can recommend that will help? Seeing as how you will likely see this after December 2nd surgery, do you have any tips for recovery from nerve surgery, not being able to do yoga? I practice Bikram yoga daily, brings my anxiety and depression back in full swing. Thank you for all you do. Yeah, this is a great question. So, Laura, I'm going to do my best. I mean, not having known your full background and not knowing how the surgery went. It is December 27th. You wrote in on 11/8. I hope that the surgery went well, for sure. What could we talk about with a neurofibroma tumor? Well, we can look at this. You're right. It could have impinged on a nerve. And also, after the surgery, there could be some scar tissue. What I'd like, once you get the clearance from your surgeon and your doctor, we can work on some of that myofascial release and work on any type of buildup of scar tissue there may be there. So what I'd like you to do is work with a really good muscular therapist or someone that just is excellent at working on the fascia. Maybe it's someone that does Rolfing. And so you can look at that because you really want to be able to open up those shoulders. The second thing I would work on for sure is I would work on meditation because I want you to calm the cortisol, which will exacerbate nerve pain. I want you to use something like Adrenal Soothe, full spectrum magnesium, use the deep sleep protocol over at Equilibrium Nutrition if you need to calm those nerves. So we need to do that, right? Because we're talking about nerves. We need to calm the nerves with Adrenal Soothe and magnesium and balanced zinc and the deep sleep protocol, whatever you need, okay? And again, you can work with your doctors on this as well. So then what I would do is as you move into yoga, I would move into a hatha yoga practice first, a little bit more of a gentle flow-based yoga. Then you can eventually return to your Bikram yoga. So that's where I would start, Laura, and I think you'll see good results with that. So I wish you the best. I've had issues with torn muscles before and scar tissue, and it's not a good thing. I've never dealt with what you're going through right now. I do wish you the best, and no doubt our community and myself will be here to lend a hand in however we can. Nicole's up next. Hello, I have a question and didn't want to ask on the Facebook group as my daughter would be so horrified if anyone knew. So I have a 15-year-old daughter who most of her life has struggled with pinworms. We can seem to get a handle on them. We use Combantrin and do the second and even have done the third doses. They seem to come back. Yes, we've done all the things, washing, nails short, wash bedding every day, even for a week, clean room top to bottom, all the things. What can we do for her? I don't love putting all this medication into her. Please keep in mind, asking her to eat super clean or zero sugar is probably not going to happen. Again, she's a teenager, but any ideas, Nicole? Okay, we can help with this. Now, changing the diet would be great. At least doing a little less processed foods, but I get it. I understand she's a teenager, but we also have to talk about the gut in terms of it being a more balanced microbiome. And the more processed flour and sugar that she's eating, more than likely there's more candida and other bacteria as well. So, I mean, I would recommend doing the CBO protocol if she can, if she's willing to, but we want to look beyond this. So there are a bunch of things that you can do and that we know do. Our parasite, well, we'll put it this way. If you haven't done our parasite protocol yet, the ParaPro support protocol, you can find that at Equilibrium Nutrition. And again, we can't say that we are curing parasites or anything like that. So this is to work on the gut microbiome itself. But what you want to look at is you want to be using products with clove, garlic, sweet wormwood, black walnut. These have been used for thousands of years in the Amazon, South America. They've been used in Asia. So these things are great. Now, we also want to talk about a few other things so we can get a little bit deeper here. If you're looking for another medication, again, I can't recommend medication. I'm not a pharmacologist. I'm not a medical doctor, but I believe it's called mebendazole. I'm not positive about that, so don't quote me on it, but I know people have used that. What we talk about more is using garlic. We're talking about whole cloves of garlic 3 times a day, 1 or 2 cloves. 3 times a day. Okay, let's say your daughter won't use garlic, although garlic is the most potent and powerful. Pumpkin seeds are also great. Another good one, coconut oil. Coconut oil can also be helpful as well. Bromelain from pineapple, the cores of pineapple can be helpful. But what are some other things? Diatomaceous earth. Many people have gotten results with using anywhere from Well, 1 teaspoon 3 times a day, however they want to take it. Typically, I say take it away from meals upon waking and before bed for sure. And if you want to do one mid-afternoon, that's great. If not, you can take a couple teaspoons upon waking, and you can do it before bed as well. This has been shown as well, but you have to drink with plenty of water to help combat gut bugs. So those things are great. Now, how can you get how can you get instant relief and kill them right away? Well, one thing you could try is actually boiling or cooking garlic water. Now, then you would use that actually as an water-based enema. And the garlic itself, even garlic drops would work, would kill whatever was in the large intestine. Now, with an enema, you're probably only going to get about 3 feet or so of saturation for the colon, but it does help tremendously with that. Okay, one more thing you can do. You could also, at night, you should be using, or your daughter should be using a salve around the anus. So some type of ointment, lubrication that we are then adding some of these same things to. Maybe it's some garlic oil drops. It could be some clove as well. These things, again, are known to kill pinworms, and it helps to suffocate them as well in the eggs that they lay around the anus as well. So, again, not a topic that everybody loves to talk about, but it is quite common. Pinworms are extremely common. You can get rid of them, but there's a little process to this. So hopefully this gets you started. Thank you, Nicole, for writing in. Rochelle is up next. The past 8 months or so, I've been getting dizzy for what seems like only a second at a time, but it comes and goes all day long. It feels like everything stops and I'm going to pass out, and then it passes up until the next time. My doctor thinks it's anxiety and isn't concerned, but I never actually pass out. I'm only 28, female, and I want to find the solution to this because it's extremely hard to go about my day feeling like this. Where do I even start? Rochelle, thank you for writing in. For sure, anxiety can cause this, but remember, anxiety doesn't necessarily cause it. What causes it is the actual shift in what are called mineral corticoids. So this is extremely important because if your sodium is not balanced with your potassium or your sodium is not balanced with your magnesium, you can actually get lightheaded upon standing or just even turning your head too quickly. So it's what helps to maintain equilibrium. What's the word I'm looking for? Not vestibular balance. Well, basically, yeah, vestibular-based balance, like your position in space. So what I would do is run the minerals and metals test over at Equilibrium Nutrition. I would look at your calcium to magnesium levels. I would look at the sodium to potassium levels. And I would also love you to run the stress, mood, and metabolism test, also called the thyroid adrenal hormone, because that will give you your levels of essentially cortisol and stress. See where that is during the day and throughout the day. All of these will be beneficial. Sometimes these bouts come on after a virus. Sometimes they come on after extreme levels of stress, where you've essentially depleted your body of quite a bit of the electrolytes, namely sodium and potassium. So you can check those out. For now, if you don't have high blood pressure, you can add a little bit of natural sea salt with meals, and you can choose your favorite natural sea salt, Himalayan, Celtic, Redmond's, all of those are great, and see if that helps as well. Even with people with high blood pressure can typically have sodium. They just have to get their potassium back in balance with it. So thank you, Rochelle, for writing in. Shay is up next. Are silicone baking mats safe? I've been using unbleached parchment paper, but I want to cut down on trash. Also, I don't want to go back to cooking on foil or plain metal baking sheets. All right, Shay, I agree. I mean, you don't want to use aluminum foil for sure when baking your food because some of that aluminum can for sure get in there. What are those silicone baking mats? Well, silicone is a form essentially of rubber, and it's not supposed to leach into the food. I can't say that I'm an expert on this for sure, but I would say my worry around these silicone mats is that I believe like silicone bags, those types of things, I think they're probably fine. But the problem is when you heat them up, and that's what you're using them for. So I believe that at higher temperatures, especially if you're using an oil or butter or something like that to coat it, that you could be leaching these chemicals into the fat. Remember, the fat helps bind the chemicals, and then you're getting that in your food. I think it's at lower levels, but I think also over time, this could be quite dangerous. So For me, we use the unbleached parchment paper like you do. Yes, there is absolutely a trash component to it. I get it. I just try to do the best that I can. Same with my wife. We just try to do the best that we can. And then in terms of like pans, we'll use cast iron. We'll use non-aluminum based pans. We'll use glass to cook in. And all of those things, obviously, is what we switched to when we got rid of aluminum foil quite a number of years ago. So, Shay, thank you for writing in. I'm on the conservative side. I really like to stay a little bit more conservative. So for me, I'm not using them at high temperatures. I'm okay with silicone-based products when they're not heated up. Okay, Cheryl's up next. Can I naturally dissolve a lipoma on my back without surgery? It's the size of a $50. And I'm taking chickweed orally for 2 months with no results. I would like any advice. Thank you. All right, so this is one of those times I'm going to point you back to stevencabral.com/podcasts. And then when you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see a search box. And in that search box, all I want you to do is type in lipoma. And when you do, you will see my previous podcast on episode. I'm going to do it right now for you. Type it right in there. Lipoma, dissolve lipomas, 898. You will find your answer. Thank you, Cheryl. I just want to make sure that we are checking that page first, because here's why. I don't want people to wait 7 weeks for their answer. So a lot of them have already been answered, and you'll find it right there. You'll hear me talk about proteolytic enzymes, doing detoxes, etc. All right, let's get in. Do we have time for one more question? This is a long question, so we are going to keep it at that for today. I appreciate everyone writing in, as always, with their questions. I want to be respectful of your time. What I'm going to do, I've already said this before, but I'm going to stick to it. What I'm going to do in 2020 is just make sure that I keep the podcast really around the 20 to 22 minute mark. I mean, I could talk all day. So that's the thing. I don't want to talk all day. I want you to listen to the show on a daily basis. That would be obviously my goal, because we talk about new things every day. So my goal is to build upon knowledge daily rather than try to force feed it all at once. And I really believe that it is the daily accumulation of knowledge and kind of sticking with it where it stays on your mind and you begin to work through problems that you have and you start to see the solutions. And especially if we can kind of tackle these things at different angles, it gives you different cues as to what to look for. So at least that's what I'm shooting for. Hopefully this will be helpful. Once again, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. This is our last house call of 2019. Not so sad to see the year go. I'm always excited for the new year to come. Hopefully you'll be joining me either running a lab for your own health this new year, beginning a detox like we're doing on the January 6th and January 13th for our community detox, that you're completing the daily foundational protocol that I do every day, whatever works for you. I just want you to take one more step forward in your health this next year. And again, if you have any questions, we are here for you. Let us know how we can serve you at cabralsupportgroup.com. You can ask your question right there, that free Facebook group. You can email us at support@equilibriumnutrition.com. You can ask your question at Ask Cabral. However you want us to help you, we are here. Thank you so much. Take care, and I will talk with you soon. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to StephenCabral.com/courses.